Have you ever imagined what it would be like if ancient fruit sold for 1 gold and wheat sold for 3000? Yeah, me neither. Why would anyone imagine that? But in this video, we are diving straight into that exact kind of chaos. Hey guys, my name's Extreme and today I am playing Stardew Valley, but with a twist. All crop prices are completely randomized. Yep, you heard that right. From cheap fruits selling price for just 1 gold to sweet gem berries going for 3000, every crop's price has been swapped around. So if you're into cozy yet slightly chaotic challenge runs, grab a snack, get comfy and get ready to expect the unexpected. Welcome to the first challenge of randomized Stardew Valley crop edition. But before we jump into the gameplay, let's quickly go over the rules. There are only 2 rules in this challenge and one little side note. Rule number 1, I can only earn gold by selling crops. No artisan goods, no foraging, just good old fashioned farming. Rule number 2, I can only grow these 40 crops. That's because only these 40 have randomized prices. Yeah, I haven't added those 4 seasonal crops, carrot, summer squash, broccoli and powder melon. Side note, mixed seeds are allowed. Since the crops they grow into also have randomized prices, they fit right in with the chaos. So what's the goal? Well, that's where things get a little crazy. My goal is to make 10 million gold within the first year. Yeah, 10 million. I know it's insane. I'm a little worried, but hey, we're gonna give it our best shot. Alright, let's dive into the gameplay. I started by creating my character, named the farm Random Crops. Yeah, not my best work. Picked this cat and went with the standard farm. Now let's talk about game plan 1. I know we just started, but I'll be quick, I promise. Find the top 3 highest priced crops. To complete the goal of this challenge, I have to figure out which crop has the sale price of the sweet gem berry, which one has star fruit, and which one has ancient fruit. I have to grow a lot of different crops to find the best ones. The sweet gem berry equivalent is the most important, so I'm hoping it doesn't get assigned to any yet 2 crops or any that are hard to get a lot of. Fingers crossed. That's why I bought one of each: bean starter, tulip bulb, kale and blue jazz seed on the first day. I planted them along with the parsnip and mixed seeds I got. I didn't buy potato or cauliflower seeds since I could get them from mixed seeds. Day 2 and 3 were pretty chill. I planted more mixed seeds, went fishing and foraging for food and gave Penny a gift. On the morning of day 4, I found 2 crows just hanging out on the farm, but I couldn't do anything since the scarecrow recipe wasn't unlocked yet. It needs farming level 1. The next day I harvested the parsnips. To check the prices, I ran to PA's shop and it was 30 gold. That's even lower than its original price of 35. Yeah, parsnips got the price of tulips, but I still sold all of them and kept the money. Then I checked the traveling merchant and found she was selling a rhubarb seed. Hear me out. I know it's expensive since she is selling it for 600 gold, which normally costs 100 at the Oasis, but it's a spring crop and there's a chance it could be priced at 3000 gold. So I took the chance, bought the seed, planted it and did a quest for Penny without claiming the money, of course. Day 6, Clint gave me the furnace recipe. I crafted a furnace, harvested and sold 3 parsnips and also placed a scarecrow on the farm. Ended the day earning 97 gold. On day 7, the tulip, kale and potato were grown. I went to PA to check the prices. The tulip was 320 gold, which looked pretty good. The kale was 80 gold, which is just okay, but, and it's a big but, the potato was 550 gold. Yeah, that's crazy news. That means potatoes got the price of the 3rd highest selling priced crop, which is ancient fruit. I didn't waste a second, sold everything I had and bought as many potato seeds as I could, 27 in total. I planted every single one, fertilized and watered them. Now we could start making some serious profits from this crop, but don't get too happy yet. We still need to find the sweet gem berry and star fruit would be good too. I also planted a rice shoot I found in the mines earlier. Yeah, I'm constantly making mining progress in the background since I'll need a lot of sprinklers in the future. The next day, the blue jazz and 2 more potatoes were grown. The blue jazz was 250, not bad, but not better than potatoes. So I sold it and bought 27 more potato seeds. Again, I planted them and got another rice shoot from the mines. This time I planted it near water so it grows faster. Also, a fairy visited at night and made some of my crops ready for harvest with just a sprinkle. Day 9, I harvested all the grown crops, 13 normal potatoes and 1 of each: rhubarb, silver quality potato, cauliflower and unmealed rice. I checked the prices and the rhubarb was 937 gold, which meant it got the price of the star fruit. The cauliflower and unmealed rice were 100 gold. I sold everything except the rhubarb since I might need it to make more seeds, maybe. Also bought 161 potato seeds. Quick explanation if you're confused. Star fruit 750 gold is its normal value, but silver quality rhubarb was counted as a silver star fruit, which is 937. Good news, we found the star fruit. Bad news, rhubarb rhubarb is only available at the desert oasis. Also, potatoes are more profitable than rhubarb. They sell for less, but they cost less, and most importantly, take less than half the time to grow compared to rhubarb. So potatoes are the clear winner for now, until we find the sweet gemberry, that is. The next few days were pretty normal. I adopted the cat, named it Evie. That was the only name roaming around in my head, okay. Found the garbage hat, sold a green bean for 150 gold, and did some mining. Watering was taking a lot of energy, so I had to spam snacks to get everything watered. On day 13, I harvested 29 potatoes and sold them normally since it was the egg festival. I got the straw hat, also bought one strawberry seed, and prayed to the love of gods that it wasn't the sweet gemberry. I ended the day with 17,048 gold, just straight up epic, and that's just 29 potatoes. Day 14, Demetrius showed up and I chose the fruit bats. I also sold one green bean, unmealed rice, and 18 more potatoes, leaving me with 27,664 gold. I gave my pickaxe to Clint for an upgrade. Now let's talk about game plan 2. I need to repair the greenhouse as soon as possible. I have two routes, either go for the community center, which would take at least 3 seasons, or go Joja route, which repairs the greenhouse in a day with the gold I have. So game plan 2 is to become a Joja member. Not only do I need the greenhouse, but I'll also need the bus and other things, which will make life a lot easier. On day 15, mom sent me 500 gold. I hate those letters. All my potatoes were grown, so I harvested 207 in total. I sold everything and my gold went up to 143,523. Insane, and it's just spring 15. 500 came from the letter, so I bought 10 potato seeds and dropped them in the river. Then it was time to shop big, huge actually. I went to Pierre and bought 1080 potato seeds. Yeah, 1080. I can plant 108 each round using quality sprinklers in the greenhouse, so basically 10 rounds of planting. Then I ordered the greenhouse repair for 35,000 gold. Steady progress, but I still have no clue which crop will get the sweet gemberry prize. I stored the seeds since I don't have any sprinklers yet. I ended the day hitting level 4, then level 5 farming, and after choosing the tiller profession, even level 6, 3 farming levels in a single day. The next day the greenhouse was ready. I can't believe I have a greenhouse on spring 16. I collected my copper pickaxe and upgraded my backpack. I also ordered the bus repair to access the desert. From here I started an insane mining grind. I needed a ton of sprinklers and resources. Day 17, something unexpected happened. Just as I started mining, a message popped up. The desert festival was open. I was shocked. It's usually a year 2 event. I mean, most of the time I get the access in year 2. I didn't think the game coded it for first year players if you get the bus upgrade early. I spent some time chilling at the festival, but then I remembered I had no time to rest, so I went back to mining. Over the next 3 days I reached floor 70, and I had a thought. Can you imagine if a reharvesting crop like cranberry or blueberry gets the sweet gemberry prize? That would be game breaking, but I shouldn't expect that much luck. Day 21, the strawberry grew. Please don't be 3000 gold. That day the bookseller was in town and I bought the price catalog. Now I can see crop prices without going to Pierre every time. The strawberry is 50 gold. Huh? Okay, not 3000, so I'm not complaining. But let's not celebrate too soon. There are still a lot of tricky crops left. Day 23, I gave my pickaxe to Clint for upgrade. Went to desert, bought a star fruit and a beet seed, and picked some cactus fruit since it's great food. I tiled the greenhouse, crafted and placed 16 quality sprinklers, watered all the spots, and planted 1 beet, 1 star fruit, and 106 potato seeds. Day 25, I collected my steel pickaxe and continued mining. Day 26, the traveling merchant was selling a red cabbage for 780 gold. Could it be the sweet gemberry? Nope, thank god. I continued mining that day and the next. The last day of spring has come. Honestly, in terms of gold, I don't even have 1% of my target yet, but what I do have are resources, a greenhouse, tons of sprinklers, iron and gold to make more sprinklers, and even plans for iridium sprinklers for greater efficiency. We might be low on gold, but we have everything to make a ton. I just need a bit of luck to see which crop gets the 3000 gold prize. On the final day, I reached the bottom of the mine for 120 and got the skull key, and finally ended the season with a real sense of progress. Before we jump into chapter 2, let's take a quick moment to talk about this mod. So I actually made it myself, well, kind of. To be fully honest, I do have a bachelor's degree in computer applications, but I didn't exactly study well enough to just sit down and build a Stardew Valley mod from scratch. I mean, I probably could if I took the time to learn it properly. My degree knowledge would definitely help, but my main focus right now is making interesting Stardew Valley videos, not coding. So yeah, I used ChatGPT a lot. It helped me translate my ideas into working code. code. That's why this mod isn't completely perfect. Bugs might happen where things might happen, and honestly, I'm still new to this whole modding thing. But if you're a Stardew Valley PC player and you want to try this mod for yourself, there's a link in the description that will take you to my Ko-fi page. Is it coffee or Ko-fi? I think it's Ko-fi.
The Ko-fi shop.
Anyway, you can download the mod for free from there, and if you really like it or just want to support me and the channel, you can even buy me a coffee or a Tesla. There are more details and setup instructions on that page too. I can't guarantee it will work perfectly on every PC, but I did test it with my friend and it ran pretty smoothly on his laptop, so there's a good chance it will work for you too. Also, if you're a creator like me and interested using this mod on your video, feel free to do it. No need to give any credit, it's all for the community. Oh, and one more thing, I'll also be adding any future mods I make and use in my upcoming videos on that same Ko-fi page. You can follow me there to stay updated. So yeah, download it, play around with it, and leave your feedback on that page. I would genuinely love to hear about your experience. Alright, now let's get back to the video. Welcome to summer. My potatoes were fully grown, so I harvested all of them and got a total of 133. I even got a beet which was priced at 50 gold. That's 40 originally since it's silver quality. And if you're confused, here's a quick chart of the price multiplier. I sold everything to Pierre, and after that I had a total of 81,479 gold. Since it was the first day of a new season, I went on a seed shopping spree. Melon, tomato, blueberry, pepper, wheat, radish, poppy, spangle, hops, corn and sunflower seeds. Planted and watered all of them. Then I bought 125 basic fertilizers from Pierre, planted 107 potato seeds and fertilized the entire batch. Now let's talk about game plan 3. Get your hands on iridium. I need iridium for the iridium sprinkler, the crystallarium and a few other things. To get iridium, I'll need to dive deep into Skull Cavern, which means one thing, stairs and bombs. I can craft stairs, sure, but making bomb is a headache, so I'll have to buy them from the dwarf's shop. But to even unlock that shop, I need to collect all 4 dwarf scrolls. I already have scrolls 1 and 2, so now I just need 3 and 4. Time to hunt. I started with blue slimes since they have a 1.5% chance to drop dwarf scroll 3. Along the way I got a glow ring, and luckily I found an infested floor, so I got scroll 3 pretty quickly. Next up scroll 4, which can be found by tiling soil on floor 80 or lower, so I tiled a decent amount and just like that scroll 4 appeared. Honestly, I wasn't expecting this task to go that smoothly. Now I had all 4 scrolls. The next day I submitted them to the museum and got the dwarvish translation guide. I also ordered the minecart repair to make traveling a bit easier. Then I used the cherry bomb to open up the path to the dwarf shop. Finally access. I bought 20 mega bombs and 10 life elixirs and headed straight to the Skull Cavern. I spent the rest of the day mining there and came back with 8 iridium ore. Not bad for a first trip, not perfect either, but it's a start. Next time I'll be more prepared. Day 3, my first iridium bar was ready, but making an iridium sprinkler was still far off. I needed a battery pack and farming level 9 for that. Also, I'd need foraging level 6 to unlock the lightning rod recipe, so it was time to start deforestation. I chopped trees all day and hit foraging level 4 on day 3 and level 5 on day 4, choosing the gatherer profession. The next day the first summer crop was ready, wheat, and it was priced at 25 gold. Bruh, what's even worth 25 gold? I sold it anyway and kept chopping trees, collecting forageables and talking to Penny whenever I could for reasons. I also planned to buy the lava katana soon, because who knows how long it will take to find a prismatic shard for the Calyx's sword, and it's still way better than my current obsidian sword. Day 6 hot peppers were ready, 120 gold. Not bad, not great, but decent. Day 7 radish was grown, 160 gold. Again decent. My potatoes were ready too, 129 in total, mostly silver quality. Fertilizer doing its job. After selling everything to Pierre, I had 86,836 gold and my total earnings crossed 300k. I gave my axe to Glenn for an upgrade and started preparing for the next Skull Cavern run. Made 13 stairs, bought the lava katana for 25k, a ruby ring for 5k, that's plus 10% attack damage, and stocked up on bombs and mega bombs. The next day Skull Cavern time again, but first the poppy was ready. It was silver quality and 112 gold. Oh, and my star fruit was grown too, not 3000, just 140 gold. I sold both, waited for Pam to show up at the bus stop. Seriously, I needed desert totems and finally made it to the desert. This trip went much better. The lava katana made a huge difference. I even got a prismatic shard and an immunity ring plus 23 iridium ores total. I slept in the cavern again, paying 1000 gold for the extra time. Worth it. Day 9 iridium smelting day. Got 10,000 gold from Mr. G, which I technically had to throw away. But before that, my summer spangle, sunflower and hot pepper were ready. Spangle 218 gold, sunflower 110 gold. Sold them both. Collected my axe, gave my pickaxe for an upgrade and slept early because I didn't want the thunderstorm ruining my crops. Day 10, I chopped giant stumps with my copper axe. Bought 100 sunflower seeds from Joja for 10k and threw them into the river. Then I dedicated a small area on my farm for trees and finally hit foraging level 6. Lightning dots unlocked. The next day I crafted 15 lightning dots and placed them on the farm. It was also the luau event. I dropped a gold quality salmon berry into the pot. The governor said it was disgusting. Yeah, I might be the reason this valley collapses someday. Day 12, the tomato grew. Okay, decent but not what I need. Hops also grew and nope, not 3000 either. I sold everything, collected my golden pickaxe and gave my axe for another upgrade. Day 13, thunderstorm. Also the melon was ready. It takes 12 days to grow, but if it is 3000 gold, it's still manageable. What? I'm not acting like I never saw this price, but I didn't expect it to stick with melon. Yep, melon got the price of chief fruit, which I added just for trolls. I harvested and replanted potatoes, sold 139 of those and ended up with 96,232 gold total. Didn't sell the melon though, I'm saving that one for Penny. Now a quick chat about what's going on in my head right now. I'm worried. I still haven't found the 3000 gold crop, so I might have to take a big step just in case, which is Ginger Island. There are two crops that require Ginger Island, taro root and pineapple. If I need to go there, I have to start preparing now because fall crops might betray me too. So Joja root time. I ordered the bridge repair for 25k and hit farming level 8 that day. The next day I got 13 battery packs. A new crop blueberry was ready. Please be the one. It's 15 gold. That's coffee bean pricing. I don't even remember setting that. Sold them anyway, finished the last Joja upgrade, panning and spent the day mining iron and gold. Day 15, last summer crop that could be 3000. Corn, it's 160 gold. Pain. But the bright side, Joja is done. Got a soda machine from them and a copper pan from Willy. Also bought a big chest and wooden floor recipe from Robin. Next day I got Willy's mail about repairing the Ginger Island boat. Collected my axe, fixed the anchor and ticket machine, spending 5 battery packs and iridium bars, and realized I still need 200 hardwood for the hull. I only had 48, so I started collecting from the farm, the town, sacred woods, everywhere and reached 120. Still needed more. Over the next few days I focused on hardwood farming and gifting Penny and Caroline. Caroline for the tea sapling, might be 3000 gold, who knows. Hit mining level 9, unlocking the crystallarium recipe. Day 18, game plan 4, make a lot of crystallariums. I crafted one, but I'd need more iridium bars. The idea is simple, make a bunch of crystallariums to produce jades, trade jades for staircases at the lizard merchant every Sunday and use those to reach lower skull cavern levels. Lower levels equals to more iridium. Okay, now that I have wasted some time explaining a simple thing that I'm sure 90% of you already know, I need to prepare for the next skull cavern trip. Made 5 more staircases, bought life elixirs, bombs, mega bombs and even grabbed 5 desert totems. The next morning I used a desert totem to teleport instantly, claimed the galaxy sword using my prismatic shard and started my run. This trip went amazing. Better gear, better prep, better luck. I got a total of 48 iridium ores before sleeping on the cave floor again. Day 20, I replaced the old chests with big chests, harvested and replanted potatoes, 125 this time, and reached 93,243 gold total. With 9 iridium bars in hand, I made 4 more crystallariums and started mass producing jades. Next day, back to hardwood grinding. Since it was Sunday, I traded my jades for 6 staircases. Staircases are only available on Sundays if you didn't know, and jades take 1 day and 16 hours to duplicate in a crystallarium. Day 23, green rain event, and I wasn't in the mood for all that ritual harvesting. Now you might say, Extreme, what if tea saplings are 3000 gold? You will need fiber for that. You should collect fiber, right? The answer is yeah, I should have, but I'd never made tea saplings before, so I didn't know that. On the bright side, I had 197 hardwood, only 3 short. The next day, hull repaired, boat done. Most trees on my farm had grown too, and on summer 25th, I finally reached Ginger Island. The next few days were all about collecting walnuts and unlocking new areas. I fed a parrot a walnut, sold 135 potatoes, and unlocked the left side of the island. Don't ask me which side that is on compass. I hit farming level 9, finally unlocking the iridium sprinkler recipe. Then I worked on that musical puzzle for ages and also unlocked the upper left area. Got taro tubers from somewhere, I don't even remember. Planted them near a water body and started searching for pineapple seed. Those can be bought from the island merchant, but I need to build the farmhouse first, so I need to collect a lot of walnuts. But before I even did that, I got a pineapple seed from a slime. Yeah, just like that. I was so happy. I planted it, went back to the valley to get a quality sprinkler, but couldn't return to the island because it was the Moonlight Jellies festival. So while waiting, I checked the traveling merchant and she was selling a pumpkin. Out of curiosity, I bought it and it was 3000 gold. Yep, the pumpkin has the price of the sweet gemberry. Finally, my question was answered. Not gonna lie, I respect my luck. At least it's the fall crop, not some year 2 item. But seriously, pumpkin, it takes 13 days to grow and the seeds aren't even cheap. Anyway, since it was Sunday, I also went to desert and traded 20 jades for staircases, bringing my total to 26. I stored the pumpkin because selling one I didn't grow just feels wrong, and with that the season came to an end. Honestly, I have no idea what's going to happen next. I write these scripts after finishing each season, so I haven't even started playing fall yet. Pumpkins are a little difficult since they take 13 days to grow, but I'm glad I unlocked Ginger Island because just 108 greenhouse plots won't cut it for winter. And now that I know it's pumpkin before even starting fall, well, at least I won't spend 2 weeks wandering. We're currently in a decent spot. Let's see what fall brings to the table. Fall is here, time to start the grind. The plan right now, make as many sprinklers as I can and start planting pumpkins on the main farm. Since Ginger Island isn't ready yet, I haven't cleared out the area there and there's no farmhouse built either. So here's the deal, I'll keep expanding the number of sprinklers and pumpkin patches every day, but only until fall 15. Anything planted after that won't grow before winter hits. After that, it's all about Ginger Island. If you don't know, Ginger Island basically works like a greenhouse. You can plant anything there anytime, no season, no scarecrows, just pure farming freedom. Alright, so on day 1 I bought 1400 pumpkin seeds. We are gonna need a lot more later, but it's a start. Then I crafted 63 more quality sprinklers, bringing my total to 66. After that, I started tiling soil and setting up the sprinklers. Tiling and watering is easily the most time consuming part of farming. The plan for the first day was simple, get the soil ready and the sprinklers placed so everything would be watered by the next morning. That way I could start planting on day 2. If everything goes right, the first harvest will be on day 15 and the second on day 28. Day 2, most of the soil was already watered. Perfect. I tiled some patches that got fixed overnight and even more ground, placed the rest of the sprinklers and started planting the seeds. It also happened to be Penny's birthday, so I gave her a diamond and reached 8 hearts with her. Back on the farm, I planted the rare seed. Still not sure why I planted that so far apart. Then I watered the remaining spots and fertilized around 300 crops. I also picked up 29 bombs and 5 life elixirs, but I'll wait till next Sunday before heading to the caverns. I need more staircases first. Day 3, more resource grinding in the mines. I made 12 more sprinklers and expanded the farm again. This was the second pumpkin batch, which means I can't replant this one later. Once it's harvested, it's getting moved to Ginger Island. Day 4, harvested potatoes in the greenhouse, planted pumpkins there instead and sold 125 potatoes for a total of 86,765 gold. Spent the whole day mining after that and found these cool sunglasses. Ended the day hitting mining level 10 and picked the prospector profession since coal's been running low. Next day, more mining grind. I crafted 8 charcoal kilns and made a single normal sprinkler for the rare seed. Day 6, with all the resources I had, I could have made 30 more quality sprinklers, but I decided to save some gold for the iridium sprinklers instead, so I made 12, expanded the farm again, planted seeds and even started decorating the farm with wooden floors. Then I realized a few pumpkins were missing, so I fixed that. Lastly, I stocked up for the caverns, bought more bombs, life elixirs and took all 23 jades from the chest. Day 7, cavern time. I went in with 49 staircases ready, started spamming them right away and even got an orange sapling from a treasure chest, which might be the most useless chest ever. And seriously, why are 90% of these iridium ores are actually crabs? Every time I think it's ore, a crab jumps out. Then I did something incredibly stupid. I accidentally left the cavern. Yeah, my brain thought I was still in the mines farming for same floor over and over, so I just walked out. Genius move. Anyway, I went back in, reached the lower levels again, and despite that massive blunder, I ended up with 83 iridium ores. Not bad at all. Pretty successful considering the stupidity. Day 8, I started smelting all the iridium ores I got from the cavern. While they were cooking, I tiled and watered more soil, planted new seeds, and did some more wooden flooring around the farm. Once the bars were ready, I crafted 8 iridium sprinklers and placed them down. Day 9, I gave Penny a bouquet and bumped her up to 9 hearts with an emerald. I also crafted added 5 more crystallariums using the 10 remaining iridium bars. The farm was really starting to look alive now. Day 10, things were going great. I asked Robin to upgrade the farmhouse for reasons. I also handed over my watering can to Clint for an upgrade, then took a trip to Ginger Island to clear out the farming area. I'll be honest, I'm kinda worried if that space will be enough. It's a lot smaller than the main farm. Day 11, I placed a few more scarecrows because I literally caught a crow stealing one of my plants. Then I spent the rest of the day mining gold. Day 12, again, I am saving up for future iridium sprinklers and keeping an eye on the calendar. Fall 14 is Sunday, so I'll be heading to the Skull Cavern again that day. Fall 15, that's the last day I can plant on the farm. I collected and gave my watering can again to Clint to make it steal. Crafted 12 more quality sprinklers. I could have used them without the watering can, but for some reason I thought I couldn't, so I just stored them in the chest. Oh, and I got this prismatic shirt while mining. Nice little bonus. Day 13, the house upgrade was finally done and it was raining. Perfect timing to expand the farm since I didn't have the watering can anyway. I planted even more pumpkins, crafted more lightning dots, and stocked up on bombs and life elixirs. Also hit the mines and quarry for more coal and finished the day by planting some mahogany seeds I brought back from Ginger Island. Day 14, Skull Cavern time. This was the last big mining trip of the run. I won't bore you with all the digging, so here's the summary. 147 iridium ores, yeah, 147, 1 prismatic shard and 3 battery packs. Also, I ran into a slime with a cake inside it. Yep, that slime got a nice cake. The next day was huge, harvest time. The first batch of pumpkins was ready, so I started harvesting and replanting right away. But halfway through, I ran out of seeds, so I had to sell the freshly harvested pumpkins to keep going. And of course, my mouse decided to betray me. Sometimes it registers a single click as a double click, so I accidentally bought and sold 18 seeds to pair. Great, but it was only 18, so whatever. Then I sold the rest of the pumpkins and earned over $1 million gold. Ladies and gentlemen, we are officially millionaires. That's crazy, and there were still crops left on the farm, so I bought 410 more pumpkin seeds, continued harvesting, and ended up with 242 pumpkins total. Sold those too, and after that my gold hit 1.9 million for the first sellout of the season. That's just insane. After that I bought another 400 seeds, picked up my steel watering can and went right back to tiling and planting. Managed to expand by 7 iridium sprinklers worth of space before running out of time. The rest will have to go Ginger Island. But then something unexpected happened. I hit farming level 10 finally, and I chose the agriculturist profession, which makes crops grow 10% faster. Now according to ChatGPT, yeah, I asked it, the last day to plant pumpkins with that profession is fall 17. I'm not sure I believe that since the math was kinda weird, but I'm confident I can still plant on fall 16, so that's tomorrow's plan. Day 16, I cleared out the bottom left section of the farm and got myself a pretty nice shirt. Then I expanded the pumpkin area by 8 more iridium sprinklers. With that, the farm planting period officially came to an end. I was more than happy with how much land we managed to cover. Starting tomorrow, the focus shifts to Ginger Island. There's even a small chance of giant pumpkins formatting with all these iridium sprinklers. Not exactly my goal, but hey, it would be a nice bonus. The next day, I harvested the pumpkins on the farm again, but this time I didn't replant them. Instead, I took the sprinklers out so I could reuse them on Ginger Island. Ended up with 204 pumpkins total, crafted 14 new iridium sprinklers and sold the pumpkins normally since it was Wednesday and PS shop was closed. That was kind of a problem though. I only had 98 seeds left and couldn't buy more that day. Anyway, I gave Penny a gift and maxed out her hearts. Then I headed over to Ginger Island, carved out a big farming area and tried to cover as much as I could. Unfortunately, I didn't have nearly enough seeds for the whole space. Wrapped up the day just before passing out, earning 771,000 gold. Not bad. Day 18, stocked up on 500 more seeds and expanded the planting area even further on Ginger Island. The layout was starting to look really nice. Also had this adorable bathhouse scene with Penny. Totally worth taking a short break from farming. Day 19, harvest time again. Sold 98 pumpkins to Pierre and ended up with 2.95 million gold total. Slowly but surely, we're inching closer to that 10 million goal. It was raining on Ginger Island, which was perfect since I didn't need to water anything. I expanded the island farm using 4 iridium sprinklers and 12 quality sprinklers. At this point though, I was starting to feel the space crunch. There just wasn't much land left. Still, I figured it was enough. After all, we have the time to grow pumpkins on Ginger Island at least twice. The next few days were the same, harvesting pumpkins, expanding the farm area and collecting walnuts. On day 21 I sold 190 pumpkins and I died for the first time in this run in the volcano dungeon. Lost my pumpkin seeds too, that one hurt. Day 22 I had to pay 26,000 gold just to recover them. By day 23 I finally got the seeds back, then pushed all the way to the end of the volcano dungeon and enchanted my watering can. It got the efficient enchantment, which means no energy cost when watering. Would have been nice to have earlier, but hey, better late than never. 2 pumpkins matured on day 24, so I sold them normally and made 8,250 gold. Then on day 26 I sold 96 more pumpkins and crossed 3.89 million gold. On the same day I managed to expand the Ginger Island farm with 7 more quality sprinklers and finally unlocked the farmhouse there. Day 27, this one was weird. My sweet gem berry grew, the real one, and somehow it's also 3000 gold. Wait, how? How can both of these have the same price? That's not supposed to happen. I checked everything again and according to the mod files, none of the 40 crops should have overlapping prices except for a few with similar values, but only one crop should have been 3000. This really killed my mood for a while and honestly, I'm so sorry to you guys. I have no clue how it happened, but since we have come this far, I decided to push through and finish the challenge. And that brings us to the last day of all. I was still bummed about the bug, but on the bright side, a lot, and I mean a lot of pumpkins were ready that day. It took ages to harvest everything and I even got a giant pumpkin that gave me 19 pumpkins in one go. Totally worth it. With that, the farm's harvest period officially ended. The greenhouse pumpkins were ready too, so I harvested those next. Didn't replant right away though. First I set up an iridium sprinkler layout. Now we can fit 116 plants instead of the old 108, way more efficient. And now for the final numbers, 259 gold quality pumpkins, 299 silver and 250 normal, that's 808 pumpkins total. I could have sold them to Pierre, but honestly I decided to sell them directly. It's more satisfying that way. Oh, and there were more pumpkins ready on Ginger Island, 98 of them. Sold those too, ending the season with 3.39 million gold. I was just speechless. What a number. It was gnarly. It even overflowed the text box in game. That's officially the biggest sellout of my entire Stardew career. Although it's modded and yeah, I have only played about 300 hours, but still, what an epic way to start winter. And here begins the final chapter. Although it doesn't really look like winter has arrived since we are still on Ginger Island. So I started winter with 7.9 million gold. I just needed a little over 2 million more to hit that 10 million mark. I harvested a ton of pumpkins, 238 of them to be exact, and sold them straight to Pierre. After that sale, I was sitting at 8.8 million gold, just 1.2 million more to go. This season wasn't going to last long. I mean, I had nothing left to do except harvest and sell pumpkins. Didn't even need to buy more seeds, not like Pierre is selling pumpkin seeds in winter anyway, but still. Day 2, the pumpkins were ready again, but I thought, you know what, let's just skip a few days. I'll harvest everything together. So I skipped all the way to day 12, and when I woke up in the morning, the entire island was covered in pumpkins. Happy Halloween! Right now I have no idea when I'm gonna post this video, but I think it will be near Halloween. It again took me ages to harvest them all, but once I was done, here's what I had. 142 gold quality pumpkins, 201 silver quality and 289 normal ones. That's 632 pumpkins in total. I sold everything through the shipping bin, went to bed and earned a whopping 2.2 million gold overnight. The next morning I woke up with 11 million gold in total. We officially crossed our target and now I can finally change my look from this to this. So the challenge is officially completed. Okay, this challenge was an absolute blast. I had so much fun playing it. There were a lot of ups and downs and honestly so much uncertainty that half of the time I had no clue what's gonna happen next. Which crop would end up with the price of sweet gem berry? No idea. But I guess my luck was pretty damn good because I somehow got the ancient fruit price assigned to the potato and I figured out the pumpkin price before fall even started. On the other hand, the mod itself was kind of faulty. I analyzed it with ChatGPT and I think it's it's a save file loading issue. Basically what's happening is the last 8 or 9 crops are getting assigned to their default prices even though they were supposed to have random ones. So yeah, I kinda dodged a bullet there. Since I didn't plant any fall crops except pumpkins, I got lucky. If I had, they probably would have been stuck with their default prices instead of randomized ones. Like I said, my luck in this run was insane. Now if you're thinking of downloading the mod, don't worry, I have fixed that issue, tested it a lot. I had to create over 25 worlds to fix and test that, and even changed the price assigning method. Everything's working fine now, and if you do find any glitches or bugs, don't count on me. Okay, I'm kidding. You can post them as a comment on my Ko-fi page. I'm not saying I'll definitely fix them because who knows what kind of chaos you might uncover, but I'll do my best. Just remember, I'm a random gamer, not a professional mod developer. So yeah, bear with me a little. And if you're thinking of donating because you like the concept of the mod, I would actually suggest you download it for free first. Try everything out, make sure it's working for you, and then if you want, you can donate whatever you feel like. And if you're donating to support me and the channel, feel free to do that anytime, but it's never necessary. Your likes, comments and subscribe to the channel already supports me so much. Alright, enough yapping, let's end the video here. I'll see you guys in the next one.